Throughout the 1960s, legendary comic creator Jack Kirby co-created much of the Marvel Universe with Stan Lee. But in 1970, thinking that he was being treated unfairly by Marvel, Jack left Marvel to work for rival DC Comics, which was a huge deal at the time. While Jack was at DC, he created a lot of memorable properties, such as the Fourth World of the New Gods, Commandy the Last Boy on Earth, and OMAC the One-Man Army Corps. In 1972, Jack created the demon Etrigan. Jack was inspired to create this character after reading a Prince Valiant comic strip. Etrigan has his origins in Arthurian legends, specifically the Fall of Camelot, when the wizard Merlin bonded the demon Etrigan to a knight named Jason Blood. As a result of Merlin's spell, Blood became immortal, but he was forever bonded to the demon. The demon has enjoyed a long publication history at DC Comics, appearing in several different series, as well as several animated series such as Young Justice, Justice League Unlimited, and Batman the Brave and the Bold. In 2011, DC Comics rebooted their entire continuity as the New 52. As part of that, they published a series called Demon Knights, which found Etrigan the Demon placed on a team of other heroes set in medieval times. And that brings us to this figure of the demon, created by McFarlane Toys as part of the DC Multiverse series. I have not been collecting the McFarlane DC series for a couple of reasons, one being that I prefer classic Silver Bronze Age interpretations of the characters, and most of what McFarlane has been doing has been based on the modern interpretations and different comic events. The other reason is that McFarlane has decided to create his figures in a 7-inch scale, which are not really compatible with the previous DC Universe Classic series that Mattel did in a 6-inch scale. So I've been avoiding those figures for the most part. But this demon did look good. I did enjoy the Demon Knight series, which is one of the few things I enjoyed of the New 52. And being that he is a supernatural creature, I didn't mind that he would be a little bigger than other figures on the DC shelf. So he comes in this standard McFarlane DC big window box, logo on the side, nice artwork on the back, with other figures released in this wave, which I didn't really have an interest in. Just some more logos on the side. The demon comes with a collector card, which recreates the box artwork, and a write-up of the character on the back. Comes with a figure stand, which we are definitely going to need, judging by what I've already seen, just trying to stand this figure up. And he comes with his sword, which has some nice sculpted detail on it, some cracks and pock marks in the blade there. Some nice ridges sculpted into the handhold. The figure itself has very minimal paint applications. The only paint apps we have are on the head, on the horns and the eyes, the red symbol on the chest, and the belt. Everything else seems to be molded in the color that it is. There's no paint wash or anything on him. So a customizer might want to take a brush to this and put a little black wash here and there. The sculpted details are really nice. It's got some details on the armor, chest and shoulder armor, the spikes on the gauntlets. All the chainmail is sculpted on his arms, legs, and abdomen. And the detail from the chest and shoulders is continued onto the leg armor. The cape is made from a very flexible plastic, and there is actually some really nice texture in the sculpt on the cape. Articulation. His arms can go up, down, and all around. He's got single joints in the elbows and in the knees, but the elbow and knees are limited by the sculpting on the armor. Does have rotating and pivoting wrists. The ankle joints are actually very tight, and he does have articulated toes. Problem I see with this guy is he's got very small feet compared to the rest of the body. So he's got a very heavy mass balancing on these tiny feet, and it makes it very difficult for him to stand. So you'll definitely need that figure stand while he's on the shelf. While the elbows are not double jointed, the knees are. It took a little bit of work to get that bottom joint on the knees moving. I did not have to use heat, I just had to use a little bit of force, and they work fine. And he does have just a tiny bit of ab crunch, not enough to do much. This figure is so heavily armored, you're not going to get him in a lot of different poses. It took a little bit of work to get the sword in his hand. Again, I didn't have to heat it up, but I did have to force the fingers open a little bit to get that in there. The included figure stand does help a lot to keep this guy upright. Overall, this is a good looking figure. The only problem I say I have with it is the very passive facial sculpt. The demon is a creature of rage, so I would have liked to have seen that reflected in the head sculpt a little bit more. Maybe snarling, showing teeth, something like that. It is a nice facial sculpt, but I would have liked to have seen a little bit more demonness in there, if you will. Here are some size comparisons with NECA, Evil Dead Ash Williams, Masterverse Mossman, DCU Classics Blue Devil, and Mythic Legion's Arthur. I stopped reading modern comics back, I believe, in 2016. Between the price hikes, the constant continuity reboots, and the terrible writing, I just have no love for them anymore. As a result, I really have no interest in most of the figures that McFarlane is doing, seeing that he's basing them on modern comics and events, especially Batman ones. They just have no interest for me. So I probably won't be picking up many more McFarlane figures. And based on this demon one, I'm really not missing out on anything. The sculpting is good, the paint applications are good, but as far as articulation, it's really nothing special. And as a side note, this Arthur figure from Mythic Legions was a gift to me from Sal at 2 Cents Toys, who did a full review on that. So if you're interested in seeing more about that figure, I will link to that video in the description of this one. So that's it for this time. Thanks for watching.